So, welcome to Back to School Night. No one thought that we would actually be sitting in boxes talking to you, but we are very glad that you're here with us tonight. My name is Wynn Satterwhite, and I'm the principal of Los Altos High School. While this has been a strange start to the 2020-2021 school year, we wanted to share a couple of positives with you and then a little bit about our roles here at the high school and hopefully share some other opportunities that parents will have to be involved on the campus once we're back together again. So the thing that I wanted to share is that while this has been a tough beginning for students and staff, I really feel like everyone has tried to make the most of it. I believe that students are trying very hard to be engaged. We see kids with their cameras on, working with their classmates in breakout rooms and really engaging with their teachers. We know that teachers have spent all summer really trying to prepare to make sure that they're ready to do distance learning with your students. Again, it's been a strange year, but we are all working together. And if you have concerns, please make sure that you reach out to your teachers. I would always encourage you to have your students reach out first. Also know that office hours are available twice a week. This is like the gift that will never stop giving for your students to be able to actually contact their teachers and be able to make sure that they can get any kind of miscommunication or confusion cleared up. The other thing that I will let you know is next week, progress reports will come home. And again, that is just a report to say, this is what's going on in my class. It is not a grade, and it is just mostly to give parents and students an idea about where they stand in the class. Next week, we'll also open up parent-teacher conferences. Any parent can request a conference with a teacher. There will be a button on the main page. Please feel free to do that. But again, I would really encourage you in this time of trying to get our students to reach out and make connections, to have them reach out to their teacher first. If that doesn't seem to solve the problem, then please reach out and ask a teacher for a parent-teacher conference. And I'm sure that they will be able to oblige you and you can figure these problems out. But bottom line is we're all here together trying to make this work, and it is a very interesting situation. I'd like to introduce Perla Pasalo next, and she's going to talk a little bit about what she does.
Hello, everyone, and it's nice to, I'd like to say see you, but I guess it's nice to know that you're there. Buenas tardes a todos los padres hispanoparlantes y gracias por estar aquí con nosotros esta tarde. I am one of the assistant principals, and though we all support all the students, we have an alpha sort of students that we work with, and mine is A through G. So if your last name begins with A through G, I am your assistant principal. The areas where I work are in helping to create the master schedule, scheduling students, collaborating with the middle schools, and I also work with the counseling department, college and career coordinators, second language learners, and help coordinate our Latino outreach. At this point, the majority of the students have settled into their classes and they're doing well. But if your student is facing struggles and challenges, please let the teachers know, as Wynn said. Plus also, you have additional support and resources through your counselor. And we have Jacob Valadez, our tutorial center coordinator, and he can help by connecting students with tutors for academic support. And of course, again, we're here to help also. We totally understand that there have been struggles, but good things are happening too. One of our goals at Los Altos High School is to help students develop 21st century skills so that when they leave high school, they'll be better able to maneuver the real world. So this new online platform has helped students strengthen those skills. They are confronting change with creative flexibility, practicing problem solving and self-advocacy, organizing and prioritizing time, and collaborating with both their teachers and their peers. So we know all of these skills are going to be very useful as they go on to college and adulthood in general. And now just a reminder that although this year looks so very different, school is school and all school rules still apply. So teachers have discussed with their students about academic integrity and behavioral expectations. But we've seen a couple of instances of Zoom bombing, where students find a way to enter and disrupt the class. Typically when this happens, we call home and record the incident on the student's file. But know that consequences and what gets recorded really depends on the degree and the severity of the disruption, especially if they breach our no tolerance policies, such as making a homophobic, racist, or sexually harassing comment towards a student, or just saying it in class, disrupting in any way that way. But really, most of our students are so fantastic, and we have total optimistic feeling that this year is going to be great and things will only get better and better. It's going to be a great year, truly. And now I'd like to introduce my amazing colleague, Galen Rosenberg.
Thank you, Perla. I want to second her feeling that things are going along quite well, especially compared to last year. And this is from the point of view of the person who's responsible for technology, which has been put to the forefront of something critical to student learning this year. And I think for me, the most hopeful element of what's happened so far is that in the spring, when we had to make this sudden transition to a whole new way of life and a whole new way of teaching, there were significant struggles, and we had to put together a whole new plan, as you know, very quickly. It was a long way from ideal last spring, but the progress that we've made, the amount of time that teachers have put into staff development and learning new technologies, and the support structures we put in place for students over the course of the summer, I think have made the learning experiences much closer to the high ideals we have for the classroom experience for all students. Undoubtedly, there's ways in which this can never be as good as it would be being together. But as Perla said, we are in fact applying lots of 21st century skills here. And I think in a way, notably for some of our parents. And so I want to talk briefly about some of the challenges we're trying to adapt to, because it is critical that students be able to get online and have access to the learning through their digital devices. Los Altos High School and Mountain View High School, our district was ahead of the curve in terms of going to one-to-one use of devices in classrooms. This is now several years ago. And so teachers already had a set of good skills for having students complete work and turn in assignments digitally, but it wasn't for everything and it wasn't universal. And the need for Wi-Fi and internet access at home was assumed, but wasn't always there as a reality. And because students were on campus and they could do work in the library, it wasn't always evident that some families really struggled with internet access, and that's come to the forefront. And so there's a couple things that are really critical. If your student does not have a functioning device, it's critical that they have one. The Chromebooks that we provide to all students who need one are still available. And as of now, our textbook center is open during regular school hours. And so if a student needs a Chromebook, if there's an issue with it, or if your personal device isn't functioning properly, we will have a brand new Chromebook to check out to them. And it's critical they get it as soon as possible. So please get them to the textbook center if that's a need. Another piece, of course, is internet access. And many of you have heard about the availability of hotspots. It's a very exciting sounding term, but all a hotspot really does is provide the same kind of internet access that your phone does when you turn it into a hotspot. And so those are provided as a first need for families who do not have internet access. And we've already met the needs of more than 100 families district-wide, and it's growing. We've heard from some families where they have issues with Wi-Fi, and that's not the intention of the provision of the hotspot at this point. So what I encourage you to do is on one of two pathways. If you do not have internet access at home and your child is struggling to access those materials, please let me know. If you haven't received a hotspot yet, we have a few more in stock and another 50 on order. And so it's essential that if you don't have internet access at home, that you reach out and we provide you a hotspot. If you do have internet access and you've been struggling with the sufficiency of Wi-Fi, maybe there's 3 or 4 kids online at the same time, maybe you're working from home, that does put a lot of pressure on your internet access. First, reach out to your internet service provider. It may, of course, be a greater expense, but I found that Comcast and AT&T and other service providers are willing to recognize the challenges we have with digital learning, and there may be better services that you would be eligible for, perhaps at an additional cost, but it's definitely worth looking into, at least for the time being. And similarly, a hotspot can help if there's multiple devices online. But if you have internet access at home and cellular service for your family, I would suggest reaching out to your cellular provider and see if a hotspot might be an additional access for your family to use on an interim basis. But again, if you don't have internet access, please let me know right away so we can address that need. And the last thing I'd like to say just briefly, in terms of exciting things to look forward to, we are somewhat optimistic that we'll be back on class for normal learning in stages, perhaps over the next few months, maybe in the spring. But next year, we're going to have brand new classrooms, brand new laboratories, brand new small gym, brand new meeting facilities. and it's going to be really amazing. I've taught here along with Ms. Satterwhite for more than 30 years. We've seen a lot of growth and improvement in the campus. These new buildings are going to be truly amazing, a symbol of the 21st century learning we're offering our students. Finally, if your last name begins with the letters H through O, I'm your personal assistant principal, and whether it's about technology or anything else, I'll be the first point of contact if a teacher or a counselor isn't the right person to meet your needs. Good evening, and I'd like to pass the internet along to my colleague, Suzanne Woolfolk.
Hello, everyone. So I'm Suzanne Woolfolk, and I'm not quite your personal assistant like Mr. Rosenberg is, but I am your assistant principal assigned and lucky enough to work with you, last names P through Z, for your entire time at Los Altos High School. And that's got to be one of my favorite things, to work with students and counselors on the good and the difficult and helping you resolve issues throughout that time. So the other things that I'm lucky enough to get to do is advise the ASB student leadership class, but also I supervise all student clubs and activities and events on campus, and help those be planned and really train students to be able to lead those events. And so those have obviously changed, and I want to talk a little bit about that in just a moment. Another area that I assist with is with attendance. And I know that distance learning has been a challenge when it comes to attendance and attendance reporting. So I want us all to, as Ms. Castillo would tell us in a moment, we're going to take a wellness moment and we're going to breathe. She knows I don't like this, but I'm going to do it right now, right? That's what we're going to do about worrying if the 5 faces you see here as administrators are going to aggressively pursue truancy in the first 2 to 3 weeks. No, we are not. We are compassionate. We also know that there's bugs in the system. And I can't tell you the exact details yet, but I do want to assure you, we have heard the concerns from students and from teachers that the attendance reporting on Wednesdays is not quite working for us yet. It's stressful, it's confusing. So please be assured, we will soon be announcing an update, an improvement for Wednesday attendance reporting, all right? So that is something that we've heard changes being made district-wide. They will be good, okay? For attendance, if there are issues that come up, whether it's illness or medical, there is an attendance line. Yes, you do leave a voicemail due to the amount of calls that come in daily. Miss Eileen is wonderful, fabulous. She can understand messages in English and Spanish, but there will not be personalized phone calls back. You can check ARIES, your student SIS account, to be able to see that the attendance was updated. Other things that perhaps are unwarranted by state education code, such as trips for family, or when the time comes, college visits. Those would be marked as other in attendance, and again, not counted as a cut. And teachers can work with your students after any absence to get them caught up in the classes. And again, Wednesday is being updated. So I just want to say those few things about attendance office. And once we're back on campus, we do have 2 main office buildings. One is called administrative office, where you'll see Ms. Pasayo and Ms. Satterwhite, along with counselors and our registrar, a place where you might go to register for school or request transcript copies. And then Mr. Rosenberg, Ms. Castillo, and I, along with attendance in the health office, are in the attendance building right next door. So moving on, I wanted to talk about something that I've been the ASB advisor, which means I'm an administrator that also gets to teach a class period. And I love that. And I've been doing that for the last 7 years. So I'd been removed from the classroom as administrator and got a chance to jump back in as ASB. So I want to talk to you a little bit about what our leadership groups are planning, because I know what might be on your mind is now more than ever, a transition. I know there's a lot of first time high school parents here. If we had you raise your hands, I'm sure we'd see lots of them if it were in the gym like it normally is. And I know what's on your mind is, how is my student going to socialize? How is my student going to build those relationships, those things that you do when you're in a passing period from class to class or at lunch, or develop those social skills? So there are a few things that have happened and that will continue to happen. And remember, they're student led in large part. So they'll evolve with distance learning. Something that was exciting is that all new students, grades 9 through 12, that were new to Los Altos High School had the opportunity to join new student orientation before school began. They met with staff volunteers. There were groups of 15 to 20 students in them with very high attendance. It was great. I'd say about 90% of our freshmen attended. Now, every freshman and every new student is assigned to particular Jumpstart mentors. Those are our leadership students that also play the role of mentor, and it's up to your students should they use it, but they have their email access as well as their text, so that whether it be a question about school or something they're feeling, or just wanting to socialize with a responsible upper class person to find out more about student life, those Jumpstart mentors began that relationship with our new students and will continue that in new student events throughout, especially this semester, but throughout the year. So we've already had follow-up socials since. We had a particular new student, grades 10 through 12, transfer lunch just last Friday. I believe there was another new student event held by student community leaders, our second leadership class, just this afternoon. So if those have been missed, it's okay. There's more opportunities. And I also want you to really remind your students, and it's available to you as well, to check the daily student news. So something that's really hard in a digital world, although digital is supposed to make it so easy to communicate with 1,000 emails a day, right? Is the student news announcements, how to get involved. And when your question is, how do I socialize? How do I get involved? Student news is really important. So it is posted daily right on the LAHS homepage or website. It's the first picture link you see, and it'll say student news, read more. You click right there. Also, I send it because your students are the young adults. So we develop the relationship with them and get the information to them. So I send student news every weekend. So it's the kind of the once a week blast. Make sure you look at the links, and there might be things from College Career Center, counselors, clubs, class councils, and so on. So it's really important that they check that mailing that comes out on the weekend. Last thing I'll say that is really exciting this year, and I want you to make sure your students mark their calendars, is a huge way to socialize beyond the classroom. Okay, so I will just say, if students want to socialize with their peers in their classes, a very simple way to do that is use their MBLA email. And if they know from the Zoom, just as you can see our first and last names in the window, if there's a student they want to set up a study group or a side chat or email, they simply copy down their first and last name, and then they can go to their MBLA email account and simply put in the first and last name. Oftentimes, for example, there's not too many Suzannes. And so even before you put my last name, Woolfolk, it'll pop up. I just write that in the to category of my email, and their MBLA email account will pop up. So you don't have to memorize the numbers of the actual address. Okay, so that's one way to socialize within classes once they meet someone that they think they might want to email or contact. But what I want to talk to you about as my last item that's really exciting for distance learning is our virtual club fair that's coming up. So please, please mark your calendars. It's also in the student news for Wednesday, September 16th at 3:30 p.m. From 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. this coming Wednesday, students will be able to they already have access. They were emailed today a link of current clubs. However, on Wednesday at 3:30, they'll be given the link to a special club website. It's very easy to use. They'll click start, and from there they will select keywords, things that interest them. And based on the keywords that they select, one of our fabulous clubs, the Data Analysis Club, has actually coded a custom website so that the 65 plus clubs we already have, by the end of the year, we'll likely have over 100. It continues to grow, but there's already about 65 clubs chartered. Based on the keywords they select, they will be able to rank order the clubs that most highly interest them. And so that from 3:30 to 4 on Wednesday, they will kind of search through and check out the clubs that are most interesting to them. They'll see the club name, the staff advisor, the club president, as well as a description of the club. There'll also be a link to join. So every club is submitted an individual survey or submission link so that they can get the names and information of interested club members or new club members. And there's also something that says join Zoom. And this is what's exciting. It's the virtual club fair. What we normally do is have tables that club members stand by in the quad at lunch. Well, we can't quite gather in the quad at lunch, but what we can do is shop around or visit various Zoom links on Wednesday from 4 to 4:30. So that's part 2 of the club day. And so they could visit a number. We know how, where adults might blah, blah, blah for 20 minutes. They might be in and out. They know they want to check one question. They visit a club for 2 minutes and then they go on to the next. I really, really do encourage, though, that every student join anywhere from 1 to 3 clubs. There's a lot of different types. Yes, there are some that are academic or Olympiad based. Maybe they want to compete or focus on class-related material in an extended way. Sure, that is a big type of a club, but we also have culturally based and ethnic clubs. We also have service-based clubs. We have clubs that travel internationally. How cool is that? So I know there's something for everyone. And if there's not, it only takes 3 students and a staff advisor to charter and create a new club, which they can do throughout the year. So I'll stop there and just say, you didn't have to remember anything I said about Club Day. It's all in an email to your students that was sent out today, and it'll be in the student news as well. So I think now I'll pass it to Ms. Castillo.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us. What's the saying? They save the best for last. I don't know if that's really true or not, but here I am. My title is Student Services Coordinator. Obviously, I'm part of the administrative team. Although this has been very challenging, I would say one of the highlights for me so far, number one has been some of our book distribution and materials distribution. As crazy as that sounds, it has been nice to see all of your faces, whether it be your student, you as a parent or guardian, but just being able to have some interaction has been wonderful. As much as I love this team here in front of me, I would much rather see all of your faces live than this group. I see them for many, many hours every day. So we are sorry that we can't do that, but hopefully soon enough we will be back. My primary role on this campus, I would say, is to support the other administrators in terms of working with some of our students that may have more challenges. So what does that mean? So Ms. Woolfolk just finished talking about all the wonderful opportunities that students can engage in to be able to build relationships with one another and with staff members. And that is very important to us. But there's another piece for our students that may require some more intervention services. And so that is part of my role. So what does that mean? Some of the things I work with or work on is building some of our community resources with other colleagues. So on our webpage, there is a place that says LAHS Things to Know. Under that category, you can find food resources, housing resources, mental health resources. So we've created a list as a group of us to put those down there for you. Another great opportunity we had is working with a la carte, and they are a food service that comes on our campus every Thursday outside of the theater in the main parking lot from 3 to 4. And that is a great opportunity for our families to go there and pick up some food for free. And it's actual meals. It's wonderful food. We've all been a part of it. It's, like I said, no charge, and it's able to serve the whole family. So that is a resource as well. Again, that's on Thursdays in our parking lot from 3 to 4. We also have the Stanford Health Van coming up soon on September 17th. They will also be in our parking lot all day. And you are able to find that in our calendar of events, and you can actually directly set up an appointment with them, and they will help you with that. The biggest role I think I play is working with our clinical team and on mental health resources. So we have a process where if you are concerned, whether it be your student is concerned for themselves or for another peer, or you as a family member or any of our staff members are able to fill out a student support referral form. That referral form is found on our LAHS webpage all the way at the bottom of the page under wellness. It is both in English and Spanish. So whatever option you need, you can fill out that form. And what that really does is I work with our clinical team. We have an intake therapist that checks in with your student within a few days and make sure that, what resources they may need. Sometimes that means school-based short-term therapy with one of our therapists or one of our CHAC or Uplift clinicians. Another option may be that it is something that may require more support. And so therefore our clinician will help support you connect to an outside resource. In the end, I think what my biggest role is to make sure that we have the academic side for our students, but also we have this emotional and social role that we feel is important, that your students are well so that they can be successful in school. And so we work together as a team to make sure that your students have all these opportunities and resources. And that is pretty much the primary role that I serve on this campus. So thank you for all joining us tonight. And we are looking forward to seeing you in person as soon as we can.
So as Kristen and this team has all said, is we so miss your children and want to be back together with them, but we're only going to do that when it's safe for everyone, students and staff both. We have a few videos tonight that we hope you will stay around to watch. These are really critical in terms of the support that we get from the foundation. Many of the things that we've talked about tonight in terms of our student services, our technology, our tutorial support, our library, all of those things are made available because we have the foundation, and the foundation has gone out of its way this year to really make sure that our teachers have all of the technology that they need to be able to reach out to your students and to continue with the education that you have come to expect from Los Altos High School. We're also going to hear from the PTSA, our boosters clubs, and we really would like for you to spend a few minutes and watch those. We also hope that you'll take some time to watch the videos that your teachers are sending the links to. Many of you were worried that you weren't going to get the links, but the teachers were doing what I asked them to and then holding off so we could lure you in to watch us. But those links should be coming out. If not, we will remain online for the next half hour to be able to help you. So give teachers a couple more minutes to make sure that you can go view those links. Those links will remain live for at least the next week. So if you don't have time to watch them all tonight, you will have an opportunity to do so. But we want you to have an understanding of what's going on in your students' classes. And we think that this is a really valuable way of inviting you in so that you get an opportunity to see how your teachers are interacting with your students and doing assessments and ways to contact them. And again, if we were all together, what I would be telling you is the most important thing that we can do for all of our students is to stay in touch, to continue to make relationships and connections happen, not only between us as adults in your students' lives, but also with your students and their friends. Kids really need us right now. This isolation has been very difficult for them. And while they look like they're bouncing around and doing all the right things, I think this has been a little soul crushing. And after yesterday's oppressive picture outside the windows, I think we just need to make sure that we're hugging those kids, baking them cookies, and making sure that we're really listening to what they have to say to us, because this is a very new, different, scary, frustrating. We could go on and on with the list of words, but we are all here for you. We are all here for your kids. And we want to make sure that this is as good a year as any, although it's not going to be the same. We really do look forward to seeing you on campus again. And please make sure you take a few minutes to watch your teachers' videos. They've spent some time figuring these out so that they can get information off to you. And we hope to see you soon. So stick around. We're going to be online to help you find your links if you don't get them. And we're also going to stick around and watch the videos with you. So thank you. Have a good evening. And virtual 2020, here we are. Thanks.
Greetings, parents, students, and teachers. My name is Nikki Selden, and I am your PTSA president this year. Again, with me is Michelle Sturiali, our VP of Communications, Lillian Stadler, our VP of Membership, and Jen Dennebeim, our VP of Volunteers.
Los Altos High School PTSA is dedicated to the health, well-being, and educational success of the students attending Los Altos High School. Our purpose is to support the high school by encouraging parent involvement, providing programs to enrich the school experience for our students, supporting our teachers, and by communicating pertinent school information.
We would like to welcome all of you who have already joined our PTSA this year and invite those of you who have not yet joined to go to the LAHS website and click join under the Parent Student tab. You can also check out what our PTSA is up to by joining or by connecting on Instagram at #LAHS_PTSA.
We would also like to thank everyone who donated to the PTSA this year. With your help, we will be able to provide grants to student-run clubs, sponsor STEAM Week and Writers Week, provide funds and volunteers for Challenge Day, supplement school library funds, support student events such as Senior Grad Night, and finally, provide funds for teacher training, for staff appreciation events, and for our Holistic Teachers Awards. Thank you again for supporting our PTSA.
Our first general membership meeting is going to be Tuesday, September 15th at 7 p.m. Check out your email for the registration link. We look forward to seeing you soon.
Hi parents, my name is Angela Player. I'm co-president of the Athletic Boosters along with Valerie Cairns. I hope all parents of athletes have had a chance to join the Boosters when registering your student online this year. Joining Boosters grants free admission to home games for families, and these fees provide about 1/3 of the money raised each year to support our athletic teams. Other ways Boosters raise money are through the Pumpkin Patch and the Tree Lot held at the holidays. Eagle Madness is our March fundraiser, and this is a community building event. We hope to bring families together for a night out. There's great food that the culinary class helps to provide, and a live silent auction. All the money raised is used for uniforms for the teams. Each team is on a 4-year rotation to receive new uniforms, equipment needed by teams, and team awards, coach training, and most recently, we helped to upgrade the weight room and the entryway to the gym. Finally, I'd like to take this minute to acknowledge Bob Chrisman and Ann Entovin, who worked as presidents and did a great job advocating for lights on the fields. The installation of the lights is going to allow for our teams to be able to practice beyond the daylight hours as we all hope to return to sport in December. Athletic Boosters meet 8 times a year, Monday nights at 5, and you can join the Boosters or see contact info for Valerie and I on the school website athletic page. Also on this page, there's a link to buy spirit wear, and there is a 20% discount running through the end of August. There are many brands to choose from, and my girls here are showing off a few of the options. Boosters welcome your questions and your input, and we're always open to more help, so please join us. Our first meeting is Monday, September the 14th, and thank you very much. Go Eagles.
Welcome from the Instrumental Music Boosters. If you have an instrumental music student, you are automatically a member of Music Boosters, an organization created to provide support to students participating in the Los Altos High School music programs. We know that a lot is different about the return to school this year, but the music department, Director Mr. Ferrucci and teacher Ms. Boyd are still engaging our students in the various music classes and extracurricular activities, such as string orchestra and chamber orchestra, concert band, symphonic band, and wind ensemble, jazz ensemble and morning jazz, and marching band and color guard. The success of these programs depends on your participation. Fundraising done by the Music Boosters provides 95% of the funding for the instrumental music department, such as buying music, repairing equipment, purchasing new instruments, funding music clinicians and support staff, and providing student scholarships. You can donate through the online LAHS Parent Forum or contact us at musicboosterslahs@gmail.com. We are very proud of our music program and hope you will join us in supporting it. Please donate generously, volunteer where you can, and support our fundraisers. We hold monthly meetings the first Monday of each month at 7 p.m. in the band room. Everyone is welcome. Our next meeting will be Monday, October 5th on Zoom. Most important, please make sure to join the e-list for your students' music group to get the latest information. You can get the e-list subscription page from the LHS home page listed at the top, or in the middle, you can directly access it via lahs.myelists.net. The music students thank you, and we thank you as well.
Maywin, want to say goodbye to everybody?
Absolutely. So again, thank you for joining us tonight. We hope you take a few minutes to go and visit your students' classrooms through the video links. If you need help, we will be here for the next 10 minutes or so to send those links out to you and support you. So again, welcome back. Welcome to Los Altos High School. And we look forward to actually seeing you very, very soon. Good night.